Marconi, the great scientist. One of the most remarkable things invented is wireless telegraphy, by means of which messages can be sent to all parts of the world without the aid of wires. The man whom we must thank for this is Guglielmo Marconi. He was born in Italy in 1874 to an Italian father and Irish mother. Even when he was a child, Marconi loved to make a new kind of ink from the juices of some wild berries which grew near his home. At the time when Marconi was a schoolboy, an important discovery was made that space in the universe is filled with a light substance called ether. This is made up of so tiny particles which can make its way through all matter, i.e., liquid, solid and gas. When the rays of the sun pass through this ether, waves are created. These waves travel very fast in every direction, lighting up everything on which they fall. Ether is not the same as air. If the air vibrates, we hear sound, whilst the motion of waves in ether produces light. Different colors, such as red, blue and violet, are produced when the ether waves vibrate at different speeds. A German scientist called Hertz discovered that electricity would produce waves in the ether, in the form of circles, just like the circles made when a stone strikes the surface of a peaceful lake. He also invented an instrument which could catch electric waves, just as our ears catch sound waves and our eyes, the light waves. The news of this discovery caused Marconi to think, and after much careful work, he invented wireless telegraphy. His aim was to invent something which would cause the waves of ether to vibrate, and which could be controlled in such a way that long waves or short waves could be sent out just as one wished. He also wished to invent an instrument which would receive these waves. Hertzian waves, so called after Hertz, travel as rapidly as light and can go round the earth 8 times in a second. Marconi performed many experiments, and in time, he was able to send out and receive signals in the Morse code without wires for a short distance. Later, he found a way of sending messages over long distances. In spite of this success, he was not satisfied, for there was still a difficulty to remove. This was to prevent the messages from being caught by the wrong person. This difficulty was finally removed by tuning. By this, we mean that the instrument which sends the message is arranged so as to send out a certain number of beats every second, and only a receiving instrument, arranged in the same manner, can catch the message. After a time, Marconi built a station at Cornwall in the southwest of England from which he could send messages across the sea to Newfoundland. Having finished all his work in Cornwall, he sailed from England to Newfoundland with 2 of his assistants, and on his arrival at St. John's, he fitted up his instruments in an empty room near the harbour. Today, instead of Marconi's kite which flew high in the air, we have wireless stations which support a set of wires. On ships, these wires are attached to the masts. Wireless telegraphy has already become part of our everyday life. Sinking ships can send out their call for help to other ships. In 1912, the Titanic, at that time the largest vessel in the world, struck an iceberg on her first voyage from England to America. She was supplied with Marconi's instruments, and when sinking, sent out her call for help. This reached a number of vessels, which arrived in time to save 900 passengers. In the following year, the Volturno was destroyed by fire in mid-Atlantic during a heavy storm. The wireless telegraphic call was first received by the Carmania, which made use of her own instruments to spread the message far and wide. 10 steamships hurried to the burning vessel and were able to save all the people on board. Every morning, a newspaper is published on board some of the large liners, the news having been supplied by wireless